Peoples, Kyushu92 here with what seems to be the final read-through for My Hero Mondays. Of all the volumes that I have, I am officially at the final volume right now, which is volume 15 of My Hero Academia. Now, according to the Barnes & Noble site, it says that volume 16 is coming out tomorrow on a Tuesday, but it's a Tuesday. So I'm pretty much going to be already into that volume because I'm going to be uploading the videos of all the chapters that come afterwards, one chapter at a time. So today marks the final day of the volume-wide long read-throughs that I've been doing ever since I started this entire series. I forget when I started reading through all the volumes of My Hero Academia, but we have gone through 14, which will soon be 15 of these chapters. Thank you all for the continued support, and let's get on with it with volume 15, Fighting Fate. And of course, with all the chapters that have been going on, we have chapters 129 all the way down to 137. Starting with 129, Eri. Now, of course, in the last chapter, in the last volume, we were getting introduced to All Might's ex-sidekick Night Eye, and getting introduced to Hassaikai, which is the leader of a Yakuza group that was secretly meeting with the League of Villains. Of course, it didn't really work out. Several people died. And, of course, we met the big three and learned about Mirio Togata's power. Did I say Togata? Mirio. I forgot Mirio's name. Hold on. I got it right here. Yeah, I got it right. Mirio Togata. Memory. And Mirio Togata, we've seen his quirk, his ability, and from what we understand, Aizawa himself says that Mirio has the most potential to become the world's #1 hero. Even amongst the pros. Because this dude has worked hard to train his quirk, which pretty much could be seen as a hindrance if it wasn't trained properly. We see all the things that he's gone through. Well, he's told us, but we see him pretty much just murk everybody in Class 1A. And we got to see just what type of power one of the big three top students of UA High School actually has. So as that goes on, we meet Night Eye. Midoriya comes under the guideship of Night Eye with his provisional license so he can learn what it means to be a hero. And in the midst of this, we run into a little girl named Eri, who happens to, for some reason, be affiliated with Chisaki, who manages to follow her out of an alley as she bumps into Midoriya. So now we get to find out what happens in Chapter 129, Eri. I'm kinda nervous. Didn't you go on patrol during your internship? Oh, or were you traumatized by the League of Villains attacks? No, for some reason I just don't have much practical experience in the field. Oh, that's weird. You're fine though. Sir's the one monitoring our target's stronghold today. We're just patrolling the surrounding area. I'll show you the ropes. First, I should watch him work and figure out how ahead he is. I'm sorry. And he's just fidgeting, and Mirio is just fidgeting all over the place. Just follow me! Still, it's strange that All Might never told me about this, because what we found out in the last volume was All Might was originally going to see Mirio and see him as the next successor for One for All. But he ran into Midoriya first. But All Might hasn't told Midoriya this. Night Eye did. I just remembered, we never told each other our hero names. Mine's Deku. Deku? As in good for nothing. You sure? Yep. I go by Lemillion. I'm not ready to use the entire all just yet. And the million is because that's how many people I want to save someday. Cool, right? Kinda sounds like the rock band Remio Roman. Remio Roman. I think I just completely butchered that. Sorry. Remio Roman. When we don these costumes and step out into the city, we become heroes. So stay sharp, Deku. Roger that, Lemillion. And then his heart is pounding because we cut back to when Midoriya bumped into Eri and into Chisaki. No freaking way. The Shie Hassaikai boss, the Shie Hasaikai's young boss is Chisaki himself. Sorry for any trouble my daughter caused, Hero. She tends to get excited while playing and hurts herself. It's a real problem. And Midoriya can't help but just stare at him. As Mirio comes in and knocks the helmet onto his head. Did you forget to wear your hood and mask again? They must not have gotten the right size for you. What are you talking about? And he's nodding and everything. We're the ones who should apologize. Right. Putting on a good face. Whereas my face was practically screaming, no freaking way. I can't do that. We're not supposed to know each other. If I act suspicious, I could impede the work Night Eye's trying to do here. That fabulous mask you've got there. You must be with the Hassaikai. You guys are kind of famous around here. Gotta end this peacefully without incidents. Yeah, don't mind the mask. I'm just sensitive to dust and grime. I've never seen you two before. Newcomers to the hero business. You're both so young. That's right. We're all nerves about being such newbies. Stand up, buddy. Gotta face the unknown future on your feet. And which agency are you working for? We're students, actually. It'd be mighty presumptuous for a couple of fledglings like us to claim any association with an agency. Just getting the chance to see what's during our internship. He's trying to figure out who we are. I won't reveal Sir's name. Let's get out of here, quick. Well, we gotta make our rounds across the entire neighborhood before lunch. Let's go! Okay. But before he can move, the little girl Eri, grabs onto his shirt real tight. Don't go. And he stares down at her. Your daughter seems scared. Only because I just got done scolding her. Deku, stop acting so suspicious. Let's go. Yeah, but these bandages don't look like something she'd get from just playing a little too rough. This girl, she's holding tight and not letting go. She falls a lot. For a girl her age to be trembling in fear silently, I just don't think it's normal. No, not natural at all. Don't presume to know what's normal for other people's households. Just stop. Indeed, there are all types. He's clearly annoyed by your snooping. He'll be even harder to expose if he gets too wary. Gotta end this without incident. You're wrong. Not taking action would be more suspicious. It's not natural. When we don these costumes and step out into the city, no true hero would abandon a frightened child. What are you doing to this girl? And that's the moment. We become heroes. It figures that a hero would be sensitive to such subtleties. Very well. It's a bit embarrassing, really. I'd rather not be overheard. Could you come this way? Whatever happens, I will deal with it. We won't be taking this child away from him. I've actually been concerned about Eri lately. No matter what I say, she fights back. Is she being abused? Raising a child can be tough, I imagine. Yes, children are so difficult. What will they become? What can they become? I constantly find myself wondering that. And he reaches down to the gloves he got on and prepares to take them off. Whatever type of quirk he has, it requires physical touch. Then, all of a sudden, Eri jumps from Midoriya's arms and starts to run over to him. Huh? Oh, done throwing your tantrum? Eri, Yes, it's always like this. Sorry for making you listen to our problems. Didn't mean to trouble you. Good luck with the job, as he disappears into the alley with Eri. Wait, why? Don't follow. Didn't you notice that sudden bloodlust? That's what lured the child over to him. Push him too far and he'll be that much harder to catch. We need to follow Sir's directive. And we cut back to where he's going. Young people today are... And we cut back to where Chisaki was going. Young people today are sicker than ever. Chrono, prepared a bath. Sorry about that, boss. I turned away for only a second and that little brat made her get away. And in an instant, he swipes into the dude and he explodes. in one big bloody mess. And then he says, and clean up this mess. Sure, all of them sick with hero syndrome. And Eri's covering her ears because I guess she's had to face this multiple times. Eri, that's quite enough selfishness for now. You're the centerpiece of my plan here. Please don't make me get my hands dirty any more than I already have. Phone call for you, Overhaul. It's Shigaraki from the League of Villains. He's calling to give you his answer. Chapter 130, Listen to the Truth. Well, their influence may be waning, but the Yakuza survivors do well for themselves. High walls, no windows, quite the stronghold they've got. It's been a week and a half since our investigation began. There are fewer people coming and going here than usual. Oh, my phone. Huh? It's Million. They ran into Chisaki himself. Because we cut to Night Eye and Bubble Girl outside of the residence of the Yakuza, and they both meet up with one another on the corner. So sorry, it was a complete accident. It was like the classic scene where you run into the transfer student coming around the corner. No, this was my failure. It could have been prevented had I foreseen you two in advance. We're just glad you guys are okay. It could have been dangerous if you gotten suspicious. He didn't seem at all that terrifying. The other day, a band of robbers making their getaway got some other people involved in a truck crash. The ones involved were members of Chisaki's Hassaikai. However, there were 0 injuries or fatalities. The robbers reported feeling intense pain before blacking out, but they awoke without a scratch. Even pre-existing ailments like rheumatism and cavities were miraculously cured. It very well could have been thanks to Chisaki's quirk. But either way, the villains were arrested and no one was hurt, so Chisaki couldn't be questioned for any crime. Still, they say the stolen money all burned up. The police department is this Bubble Girl saying all this? No. The police department decided there was nothing about the incident worth investigating, but the Night Eye agency decided to start tracking the gang given how strange the story was. There was no way to know what he was thinking yet, but this is a guy who gets stuff done. Excuse me, sir. There's a silver lining, actually. We have new intel to report. Chisaki has a daughter. A daughter. Her name is Eri. Her arms and legs were covered in bandages. She was really scared. I don't know what was going on, but I tried to save her. I just wish I could have done something to protect her. Enough of that arrogant thinking. But haste makes waste. Presently, we're requesting other agencies to team up with us on this case. Go after him haphazardly and he'll slip through our fingers. You're not quite so special as to be able to save whom you want when you want. First, we must predict what the enemy is planning. After extensive analysis, we'll start planning to make sure everything is in place. This world is not so accommodating that you can act the hero because you feel like it. The cleverest villains out there lurk in the shadows. There will be times when every precaution must be taken. You two, return to the office. You're done for today. You're with me, Bubble. Yes, sir. And with that bad taste in my mouth, the first day of my work study was over before I knew it. 1 week later, morning! And then Bakugo is just looking super scratched up. What's up with Bakugo? Another fight? Try to keep up, girls. Have a look at Todoroki. And Todoroki's is covered in more bandages than Bakugo is. What a waste of those good looks. What happened? Guess the provisional licensing course is running them ragged. I didn't know it'd be so physically grueling. Enough gossiping, you jerks! Class is about to begin. Where are Uraraka and Tsuyu? Excused absences, President. Looks like the boys are missing Kirishima. How's the work study, Midork? Midork study? You really working with some chick in a pervy costume? Uh-huh. How long are you gonna do it for? Can I join? Uh-huh. Stop talking about you're getting ahead of me. And all Midoriya can think about is All Might, Night Eye, Eri, and Mirio. Everything felt more and more muddled. I couldn't concentrate during classes. If you can't handle the work study in school, then I'll have to put an end to it, Midoriya. This just isn't working. All Might, he went out jogging. Jogging? You didn't know? He started training right after the home visits. I think he should take it easy and enjoy retirement, but... What's up with that pose? Haven't done it in a while. All Might, you gotta tell me everything, All Might. As we turn to see him try and catch up with All Might using full cowling. It's you, Midoriya kid. Are you here to ask why I'm here? Are you here to ask why I am here? And there's nothing but silence. Until... You knew everything, right? How Night Eye knew about One For All, and how Togata was in line to be your successor? You knew, right? Why didn't you tell me? Did I have a reason to? Of course you did! It's all coming as news to me, and then Night Eye practically rejects me. I just don't understand what you could have been thinking, All Might. And I've been in this weird haze trying to figure out why you kept it all a secret. Why not just tell me about it? I just want to know, not as your fan, but as your successor. I didn't think having this talk would be to your benefit. You really want to know? Better to know than to keep wondering about these secrets. Just don't regret asking. I won't! Night Eye started out as one of my major fanboys. I made a point of never taking on sidekicks, but he eventually wore me down, and I brought him on board. We worked together for about 5 years. His physical abilities aren't all that impressive, but that brain of his was just the thing to help me out. I know all that. You were out in the field while he provided support behind the scenes. I thought you guys got along. Yes, but our partnership dissolved when I got hurt 6 years ago. We just saw things differently. This is too much, All Might. You really ought to retire. Haven't you seen the news? Everyone's looking for me. They're waiting, so I have to go. Trying to be a hero in the state you're in will only lead to more pain for everyone. You'll never be like you were before, not with your respiratory system so damaged. For the sake of the peace you seek, retire now, while you're still a living legend. If it's someone to inherit One For All that you're looking for, you have your pick of my students. You've done enough already, says the principal, who happens to be here with them, along with Gran Torino in the background in the hospital room. A soft, warm bed and some good rest is what you need now. Find a bright, strong, fresh face for the job. Find someone just like you and pass it on. And what of the symbol until I find them? All For One may be gone, but in our old superpowered society, his replacement will never be far behind. I understand the symbol's significance all too well. I respect it. But look, you can't even smile. If you insist on continuing with these theatrics, I won't support you anymore. I can't. I don't want to. Did you foresee me? I thought I told you not to do that for me, All Night Eye. You can retire now. The next #1 is sure to appear before long. Things may be touch and go for a while, but perhaps we can avoid that. And how many will be subjugated to fear and suffering in that short time? All Might. Besides, your foresight has never been wrong before. There's never been a president. No. But still, I can change the future. At this rate, though, what I've seen will come to pass. We can't have that. I want nothing more than to be there for you, All Might. And it's for the world's sake that I am here, Night Eye. Continue down this path and you will encounter another villain. What awaits you then is an unspeakably gruesome death. We were at odds about my future. That fight split us apart. Principal Nezu recommended Togata to me, but I ran into you before I could meet him. I'm sorry. I never wanted you to know this, because you're a fan of mine. Chapter 131, Fighting Fate. The news shocked me. All Might, you're going to die? All Might is gonna... I had a hunch before then. So, sort of like a vague, inexplicable feeling. Everyone dies eventually, right? But hearing it from All Might himself cut me like a knife. Like a knife. Knife. Reality sometimes hits you hard like that. When I met you and decided to pass on my power, I informed Night-Eye. He was opposed to it, though. In the end, the rift between us grew wider. A quirkless middle schooler? What are you thinking? Such a boy could never serve as a symbol of peace. He really has this burning desire to help people. That alone isn't enough! Not when there are so many suitable candidates out there! It's true, there are plenty of good choices, but this quirkless kid is as good as any. He branded my decision as a foolish one, and found my own suitable candidate. That's when he took Togata under his wing. Hold on, that's not... Wait, All Might! When is Night-Eye's prediction supposed to come true? And is it really inevitable? 6 to 7 years after he saw it. The further off into the future a prediction is, the harder it is to accurately predict when it will happen. Apparently, he's never been able to change a prediction. 6 to 7 years? But that means this year or the next one. It can't be true. How can it? Why? I mean, it just can't. You have to live, All Might. At the sports festival, remember? My promise. I made a promise to you, but I haven't come through yet. You gotta live until I do. I need you to tell the world I am here. A flashback to before the whole festival went off. You gotta keep living until the day you can hear me say, I am here. And there's a slight pause. Midoriya kid, When I heard the prediction, strangely enough, I accepted it without question. With the goal in sight, I figured I'd just finish with a sprint. But my fight against All For One and Kamino was my finish line. But you were there. You, timid and quirkless, have been there for me all these months. Our days together spoke to me, telling me to live. Then your mother told me to live so I could raise and protect you right. So even now I'm fighting to live. You changed my outlook. I'm still alive. I'll use this very hand to shape my own fate. For a moment, he actually goes into his muscle form. This is what I meant when I said we would settle things for good, All For One. And he goes back to his small form again. It's been a long and winding road to get here, and Night-Eye's words are proving true, which is why I've got no right to face him at this point. I didn't want to do anything to slow you down when you're sprinting towards greater strength. For all we know, maybe my fate's already been decided. So we don't know if the future in his prediction has changed. I can't accept it, All Might. No way! Whatever happens to you, I'll be there, changing fate by your side. And he just smiles at him. Just don't mess that hand up. Just don't mess up that hand while doing it. Wait. Why not get Night-Eye to use his quirk on you one more time? Settle things and get him to tell you if your future's already been changed. That'd be a little too presumptuous of me. We're talking about your death. Let me talk to him for you. No, kid. Think about Night-Eye's feelings in all this. While All Might was busy explaining his secrets to me, the situation was steadily intensifying. As we see two giant villains fighting each other in a district somewhere. A fight's broken out between two villains. Both have gigantification quirks. Their fight's threatening to destroy all of Espa Avenue. Get some heroes here on the double! Charging complete. Output level 30. And it's Najiri! Najiri wave! And she knocks out both of the giant villains in one go. What? Hey, why are you fighting? Is it because you both have the same quirk? Kinda weird. UA High School 3rd year Big 3 Najiri Hado. Now, do it, you two! Oh, now we know where Uraraka and Tsuyu were. They were working with Najiri. Oh, with Najiri. Ultimate Ultimate Meteor Farfroskies! And it looks like Tsuyu and Uraraka use both their quirks to finish off the villains. Nice, really, really nice. Were you too nervous? We did it, just like you said. Ribbit, I wasn't worried at all, surprisingly. You're just as good as Najiri said. I can see why she's recommended you to. And good job improving on timing the attack, Najiri. Hero Billboard Chart number 9 hero, Dragoon Hero Ryukyu. Ryukyu. Sorry about that. Thank you, and both Uraraka and Tsuyu both say thank you so much for hiring us. Yes, of course. Ryukyu, did you know these two couldn't work with their old internship heroes? And as first years, they could only work as a really accomplished agency. Did you know that? You may be students, but you're already showing great promise as fighters during this work study. You may even prove you helpful for a certain case. A case? All Might's former sidekick Night Eye has requested help. So, we have Ryukyu, Hado, Uraraka, and Tsuyu working together. Then we got Kirishima working with Sun Eater, who happens to be the kid that didn't really like to speak a whole lot. And then we got Deku working with Lemillion and Sir Night Eye. Alright, here we go. It concerns the investigation and takedown of the villain group Shie Hassaikai, with the League of Villains possibly involved. It's gonna be an important job. Chapter 132, The Plan. I'm making good time, I think. Not big on decorating your office, huh? I don't like cluttered spaces. Shie Hassaikai compound underground. We've been wandering around these underground tunnels for half an hour. Way to make your guests feel like ants. Is every Yakuza hideout as bizarre as this one? We can never be too sure who's watching or what a guest might be thinking. So we've got multiple underground routes. This reception room is quite well hidden. We've survived as long as we have thanks to this intricate setup. I'm probably not going to stay with that voice for the little short dude with him. So, about your call the other day, did you really mean it? You'll really join us depending on the terms? That's a nice way of putting it. You guys want to use our name, and we want to expand our influence. We both have something to gain here. Take your filthy foot off of my table. Mr. Boss, you should really be more polite and say something like, please remove your foot. Show some humility. Anyway, first off, we aren't working under you. We're gonna do what we want and how we want. We'll be equals, so let's be friends and help each other out. Is that your condition? One more thing. This plan you mentioned. Explain it. It's only natural to include us. After all, I have to decide if it's worth lending our good name. Especially because... And he reaches into his pocket, but he immediately gets a gun pulled on him, and the short dude that was sitting next to him has a giant elongated arm break out of his suit and pin him down. You're a bit full of yourself, aren't you? And they both stare at him. You think you can tell us what to do? Shie Hassaikai A Chronostasis. Who do you think you are, you little punk? Shie Hassaikai Director Mimic. You're one to talk. Your two-bit Yakuza meat shield was hardly an equal trade for our dearly departed big sis. And his hand starts to throb. Plus that arm you took. We're gonna need compensation for that, or this deal is a no-go. Chrono, Mimic, back off. Our guest took the time to come out here, after all. Let's at least hear him out. He was in the middle of something. And he pulls like a short dart out of his pocket. It's all got something to do with this, right? And then we cut to Kansai region, Esua town. There's no shortage of trouble from gangsters and street punks lately. Ooh, there's no shortage of trouble from gangsters and street punks lately. Makes me hungry as heck. BMI hero Fat Gum. Which is why hero agencies around these parts are in need of good fighters. You were perfect for the job, Red Riot. Happy to be here. Fourth kind couldn't take me on, so I'm sure Fourth kind couldn't take me on, so I sure am glad you were able to. UA High School 3rd year Big 3 Tamaki Amajiki. Sun Eater. Tamaki Amajiki. Longing that name into memory. Neijire Hado, Mirio Togata, and Tamaki Amajiki. I gotta force myself to remember these. If only Mirio was around. You scared me with how aggressive you were. With how aggressive you are. You'll make a fine team member too, Tamaki, once we do something about that fragile psyche of yours. That sort of pressure sends me spiraling even deeper. It's always like this. I swear he just scouted me to have someone to torment. It's an abuse of power. I want to go home. Pretty sure he's just encouraging you. That's how it sounds to me. Hey, Fat, eat at my place. Because apparently he's famous enough where people want him to eat food. And there's a ton of people walking around with different quirks and different things. I'll never be as cheery and positive as you or Mirio. I know how it feels, man. There's been plenty of times when things are bad and I'm totally useless. It feels like my classmates are getting stronger and gaining experience, leaving me in the dust. That's why I want to close that gap and stand as equals with them. Right. Like I said. Right. Like I said, you're a positive first year. It's a fight! Someone help! Speak of the devil. And we got people running away. These idiots are trying to do business in my territory. No lucky breaks for us, huh? And we were just about to make a name for ourselves, too. Split up for now, okay? Not so fast. And they run straight into Fat Gum. It's Fat! Shoot, we're sinking in! That's Mr. Fat the Singer to you. Hey, you have the same quirk as Edge. And one of them manages to get away, but he gets wrapped up in octopus tentacles. Huh? Where'd these stupid octopus come from? And it comes from Tamaki. So cruel. No, Senpai, it just means your tentacles. It's not an insult. And he pulls him towards, and Tamaki pulls the guy towards him. What? And slaps him in the face with a hand made from like a clamshell, and he's knocked out. You're not an octopus? Clams sure are handy, good on offense and defense. That's why I try to eat them every day. Tamaki Amajiki, quirk manifest. He can manifest parts of whatever he eats. Didn't need the wings, though. So, apparently, whatever he eats, if it's an animal, he can manifest those animal parts on him. Which is why his right hand turned into octopus tentacles because he has some takoyaki. His left hand turned into a clam because he ate some clams. And he sprouted wings and got chicken feet because he ate some fried chicken. Wow, looks like he's the real deal after all. I did good, didn't I? Yeah, awesome. You're a beast at whipping out your quirk all quick-like. My little Sun Eater's already as good as any pro when it comes to skills, even if his psyche still needs work. And as the people are cheering for him, he has a mini breakdown as people are cheering for him. And there's someone standing in the crowd. The gang, gotta save him. Fat Gum notices. Look out! Get down! Right after you stuck this little thing into him, Mr. Compress was unable to use his quirk, as this little dart that gets shot from the gun manages to land into the arm of Tamaki. And they both look on. So what are these? What are you planning to do with them? Says Shigaraki man, I forgot his last name. To Overhaul. I'm just gonna call him Overhaul from now on. So what are these? What are you planning to do with them? Is it starting to get dark? Yeah, it's starting to get dark slowly. Tell me. I'm going to destroy the way things are. They say all for one stole quirks to gain power. I'm taking that method and changing it up a bit. Run for it, big bro! As the guy who shot Tamaki is screaming out. And we're planting the seeds of change throughout this country. Little by little, we're laying groundwork for the plan. And Kirishima gets shot in the head, but thanks to its hardening quirk, it bounces off. Sun Eater! Red Riot! It bounced off. And Kirishima's ready. You're mine! Chapter 133, Catch Up Kirishima. A hero's been shot. It didn't look like it should have. It didn't hurt like it should have. You really okay? Too cool. What's wrong with this gun? Octopus is just the thing to nab you. But nothing comes out of his hands. It won't activate. Stay back, you jerk! Wait, not so fast! Move too hastily and it could backfire. If you're okay, Sun Eater, then take care of things here. Other heroes should show up soon. I'm fine, but my quirk won't activate. Huh? Is a racer around here? Stay back! Stop following me! How about you stop running then? What was all that stuff about saving your friends just talk? Just whose side are you on? Shooting someone and then getting scared and running away ain't manly. And they run into a dead end. It's a dead end, give it up. But the guy manifests. Back off! He causes some spikes to come up through his arm. Red counter! And of course it doesn't harm Kirishima because of the hardening. And he punches the dude straight out. I held back, so come quietly now, you gun nut. And as the guy is laying down, and he's slowly sobbing to himself. You're crying? No fair, all I got are blades that extend less than 10 centimeters. That's no better than a box cutter, no fair. I just wanted to save my bros, you idiot, but I got scared. Give me credit for being brave enough to shoot at least. No way, if you're gonna get all weepy and sad and scared, then don't commit crimes in the first place. Can you stand? Just wanted to be strong. I thought that if I hung around strong guys, I could get stronger myself. Hey man, I get how that feels, but still. If I stick with the gang, I'll be granted power. And he takes like a little device out of his sleeve and stabs himself in the neck. You're good enough to be a hero, so don't even pretend to understand. He stabs himself in the neck and it sends pain shooting through his body and his body starts to shake all over. What'd you do? What was that injection? Hey, you okay? And he's still screaming all over. Until multiple spikes shoot out of his body. And it hits Kirishima all over. You really helped us out here. But we're back into the district and apparently arrested them. And the rest of the gang members that were running away, they're all being taken away by the police with what appears to be quirk nullifying handcuffs. Kind of reminds me of Scene Stone cuffs for Devil Fruit users of One Piece. This gang's been selling illegal drugs and goods. We've been looking for a chance to catch them. So whatever's keeping my quirk from activating must be one of your illegal products then? Drop dead. Anyway, leave the rest to us. Kirishima, fat. I've got a bad feeling about this. But as we cut back to the guy and his quirk, he's pretty much skewering so many areas with a crazed look on his face. A sudden power-up? I heard about this on the news. It's some sort of drug that boosts quirk performance. If he makes it out to the main road, we're gonna have a real mess on our hands. Everyone get back! Get to a safe place where his blades can't reach you. Gotta end it here. And then the guy is screaming even more as he sends a spike towards Kirishima, who gets hit by it. He gets cut by it. So his hardening is starting to weaken. He cut me? Is he harder than I am now? I can't get close. You got cocky, kid. Acting all high and mighty, preaching about justice. It's just like my bro said. The age of heroes is about to come crashing down. We outcasts are gonna rule the day soon enough. I'm on top of the world now. Move it, kid. It's just like you said. I can actually go help my bros. With your hardening, forget the parlor tricks. Focus on smashing through like a bulldozer. Back to teachings that All Might taught him when they were learning to do ultimate moves and improve their quirks. That's what All Might told me. When I think about it, I've got no fancy moves to compete with you guys. Huh? Talking to Kaminari and Bakugo. You've all got mid to long range attacks and boosted mobility and stuff. Well, except Kaminari. Not me, though. Yeah. See if I ever agree to charge your phone again. What's the situation? What's the solution? I'm just a mess of weaknesses at this point. Everyone's looking forward to going pro, but I'm back here wondering how to keep up. Don't be a wimp. This isn't like you. I ain't whining, just thinking. You want to talk about keeping up? Remember back when you were my unbreakable horse? Just like All Might at the end in Camino. Just being able to keep standing through anything makes you crazy strong. Then more, my body and soul! Even harder! As Kirishima starts to push his own quirk to its limits to extra harden his entire body. Get harder until I'm a wall that can never crumble! And he covers his entire body, eyes, teeth, everything. Everything gets super hard. I gotta reword that. Everything gets super hardened on him. His quirk super hardens all over him. I cannot figure out a correct way to say that without it sounding like an innuendo. But he manages to break the blades on the dude, and it hurts him. Ow! This is what I achieved during our training to strengthen our quirk. It's starting to get dark. So now I'm at maximum hardness. Red Riot Unbreakable! And as the guy prepares to skewer him, we go into a new chapter. Let's go! Gutsy Red Riot! Chapter 134. What's that sound? Is that your whole body creaking? Are you losing it? I can only maintain this form for about 30 or 40 seconds. No longer, but during that time, no one can beat me! He literally looks like a walking rock monster, where nothing can break him. Take a good look at me! And it scares him. It scares the guy so much that he focuses all the blades to go back into his body. Until he causes them all to go out into like a massive beam of blades. I'll just blow you away! Absolute focus! And he gets pushed back. The guy gets pushed back because he's aiming where Kirishima is. The people behind me haven't run away yet. And there are probably still people in some of these shops. I gotta get him to focus those blades on me. The hardening man. No parlor tricks, just a bulldozer. I can overwhelm him. Ultimate move, Red Gun Turret! And nails him right in the stomach. And the guy is knocked out. So young, yet so ferocious. Wow, the guy's out cold. Take that! I'm right at my limit. That was close. And he's laughing. And no, the guy's coughing. Stay back! He's back to being a crybaby, just like before he injected himself. Did the effect wear off? All I wanted to do was get stronger. Please, just let me go. I'm just a pathetic guy who wanted to taste power. No can do. You shot my senpai. I get how you feel, though. A while back, I don't give a crap about your sob story, moron. And then he caused his blades on his back to shoot him out of the way. Past Kirishima in a last-ditch effort. I'm an idiot. What a chump, just gullible enough to save my bacon. I'm gonna get away. You'll never catch me. In comes Fat Gum. Fat Gum. Sorry I'm late. During villainous encounters, the enemy wins if he kills you, gets away, beats you, etc. We have only one route to victory. Capture the villain before he causes harm. Remember this lesson, Red Riot. When fighting villains, quickly making them lose the will to fight is everything. Fat Gum, quirk, fat absorption. He can absorb anything into his body. And the guy was trying to use his quirk while Fat Gum was absorbing him, but it has no effect. Had to give it my all just to struggle against this guy, but Fat took him down in a second. Thanks for the help. Thank you, young man. Really great work. You're amazing. The way you move to keep the blades away from us, like watching a veteran hero if I didn't know better. Most would have been scared out of their minds by a blade man like him. You have my utmost gratitude. Pretty splashy debut, a far cry from my own. And you're the one who helped me out. I just know you'll be a great hero, no doubt. Gee, thanks. A quirk booster? Drugs like that are illegal here in Japan. Must be some cheap Asian-made knockoff, judging by how long it lasted. The American variety keeps working for an hour or two. You know your stuff. Cool. I used to work with the cops, and we seized plenty of this stuff back in the day. Fat, about the perp's gun. His quirk shredded it to scraps, and there are no bullets. We can tell it's no ordinary piece, though. We'll get it back to you with a report. Interesting. Thanks for looking into it. You okay? This is the worst. Stopping a hero from using his quirk, what a thing to do to a guy. Not just that, also the way you protected me. It's just like Mirio. One big, bright ball of sunlight. Yeah, well, you're like sunlight to me, guiding me through this work study and all. That's exactly what I mean, You would say that. Quirk boosters are a known entity, or originally used to aid those with weak quirks. However, a drug that cuts off a person's quirk completely? That's a first. Got a nasty feeling about this. We'd better get you checked out at the hospital, and I've got something to look into as well. We'll stop by the agency first. Okay, got it! And we cut back to Kirishima, back at UA. Kirishima, you jerk! Huh? Your hero's name is in the news! Newcomer sidekick Red Riot bursts onto the scene, protects citizens, and fends off villains first day on the job. And this is met with ire from Bakugo. Tsuyu, Uraraka, this is too cool. Your name's here too, says Ashido. New recruits at the Ryukyu agency. These two cuties are doing work studies with the agency. What an achievement. They use their skills to resolve the incident in a flash, with Momo and Jiro looking on, respectively. And I'm starting to lose light. Pretty exciting, I guess. Where'd they get that picture from? I'm jealous. I love it. Bet you already got hordes of fans, just like Mount Lady. For provisional licenses or not, we are not now heroes when we step onto those mean streets. Wonderful jobs. But a student's primary concern is academics. No slacking off now, says Ida. Gotcha, Ida. We're ready to learn and all that. Yeah! You suck at school, though. You gonna be okay? Sensei's gonna be giving me some extra lessons. Maybe I should join you. Keeping up this double life is tough. Everyone learns at their own pace. You always know just what to say. The business with All Might, Togata, and Night Eye. We hadn't talked about it since, but I got the gist. And with every day that passed, my concerns about that girl grew. A few days later, oh? Morning, Midoriya. You heading out to your job today? What a coincidence. It's my first day back after a while, and they said I don't need my costume. Huh? Good morning, guys. You too? The station? I'll take you guys there. So many heroes. Wow, thanks a lot. Thank you. Huh? All on the same train? I thought you were based in Kansai, Kirishima. I am, meeting up somewhere different than usual today. Same here. We're getting off at the same station? This really is a coincidence. We're meeting our group on site. Walking in the same direction? Turning the same corner? And as we come across the big three, hiya! Hey! And then Tamaki doesn't say anything. And the big three are all here? What the heck is this? So many heroes in one place. Fat Gum, Ryukyu, Aizawa, Gran Torino, Bubble Girl. So many people. Gran Torino? And Aizawa Sensei? So many of us. Wow, what's this all about? Ryukyu! Hey, what are we doing here? I know you said something about a meeting, but what is it? You'll find out soon. Shall we begin, Night-Eye? That big case! Thanks to the intel provided by all of you, we're making great strides with this investigation. The small organization known as Hassaikai is plotting something. I've called you all to this discussion to share with you exactly what we know. Chapter 135, An Unpleasant Talk. Sir Night-Eye Agency, meeting room, second floor of the meeting room. Let's go over everything step by step. We got so many heroes in this one panel alone. There are famous heroes from the rankings, lesser known local ones, and everything in between. Sensei! Why are you here, Sensei? I was called over. They asked for my help, so here I am. I've been told the gist of what's going on, and there's something I have to tell everyone. Feeling kinda out of the loop here. Hassai, what now? What's that? They're probably planning to do something rough, which is why we're here to talk about it. And it's got plenty to do with you two. Now then, let's get started. Night-Eye Agency Sidekick Bubble Girl. For the past 2 weeks or so, here at the Night-Eye Agency, we have been conducting an independent investigation of the designated villain group known as Hassaikai. What started all this? An incident involving a band of thieves called the Reservoir Dogs. The police wrote it off as a mere accident, but there were a few inconsistencies that prompted our investigation. Centipeter was one of the winning designs in the character fan art contest and comes from Tetsuya Ohara. Random number calling me, I don't know who that is. Night-Eye Agency Sidekick Centipeter. Night-Eye Agency Sidekick Centipeter here. Under Night-Eye's orders, I've been following some of the leads. According to my findings, the organization has been making extensive contact with outsiders and underworld dealers throughout the past year. Their goals seem to be the expansion and accumulation of funds. And shortly after we began investigating, they made contact with a member of the League of Villains, Jinbubai Garawara, who goes by the villain name Twice. They were all very wary of being tailed, so we couldn't pursue them then, but the police have provided further assistance. Their findings confirm some sort of conflict between the two groups. Something to do with the villains, huh? So that's why you've reached out to me and Sugauchi. Where's Detective Sugauchi? Following up with some more eyewitnesses, says Gran Torino. Kid, let's hope it doesn't come to this, but you might get dragged into some nasty business. It's no trouble at all. Friend of yours? From my internship. That geezer was with Almighty Camino. Midoriya sure knows some wild people. And as Night-Eye's looking around, continue. So, given these developments, we've reached out to all of you for help via HN. Skip to the next part. Right. HN? The Hero Network. It's a web service for licensed heroes. You can check out what heroes all over the country are doing, and even put in requests to heroes with quirks that might come in handy whatever you're working on. Huh. UA students or not, what are these kids even doing here? They're just slowing us down. The sun's gonna set before we even get to talk about the bad guy's grand plan. Baloney! These two are super important participants. You mean us? This gag's getting old. Also, I'm seeing plenty of unfamiliar faces here. I'm Fat Gum. Nice to meet ya. So round and cute. Ah, have some candy. I like Fat Gum. Hassaikai was once suspected of dealing in illegal substances, which is why I've called in a hero familiar with such things. Right, just like Fat Gun was saying. Back in the day, I squashed loads of dealers like that. And then, during Red Riot's debut battle the other day, the perp went and shot up Tamaki here with a type of drug that I've never seen before. A drug that destroys quirks. Destroys quirks? And there's chatter amongst the room. Huh? You gonna be okay, Tamaki? Says Muriel. Yeah, I'm back to normal after a good night's rest. Here, look at this fabulous cow hoof. You ate beef for breakfast? So he's recovered. That's a relief. This stuff must not be fatal. No. No. On that point, I turn to Eraserhead. It seems a bit different than my erasure, because I'm not actually attacking a person's quirk itself. What we call quirks are special additions to an ordinary body, or the plus alpha elements. Everything included within the plus alpha are what we call the quirk factors. What I do is temporarily stop those quirk factors from activating. I can't actually cause any damage. We've got Tamaki checked out at the hospital right after the attack. They said his quirk factors were damaged. Luckily, his body's natural healing was enough to fix the problem. Did they analyze what he got shot with? It didn't do anything else to Tamaki's body. It only attacked his quirk. The gangster in question climbed up, and the gun was destroyed. It looked like all we had was that one empty round. However, since one bounced right off Kirishima's body, we got our hands on a vial of the stuff that's still intact. Me? Seriously? Didn't expect that. I have no idea what anyone's talking about. Way to go, Kirishima! Very cool, man. Hardening, right? I know about him. Perfect guy for the job. Analysis of the substance inside revealed something pretty disgusting. They found human cells and blood. Huh? Sounds kind of unreal. And Muriel doesn't say anything. So, the effect of it has come from a person's quirk. A quirk-destroying quirk. I was already kinda lost, but how does any of this connect to Hassaikai? Although Kirishima caught the guy who had the illegal substance, figuring out the network for drugs like that is pretty tricky. It's all shrunk down since the old days, but these drugs pass through multiple levels of groups and organizations down the supply chain, until they finally arrive at that lowest level. There's no proof that Hassaikai is the supplier in question, but Hassaikai definitely did business with one of those middlemen. That's all you've got. The other day, Ryukyu and her people stopped a feud between two villain groups. The group of the boss of one of those groups is the middleman dealer just mentioned. One of those giant villains shot himself up with a booster to extend his short activation time. Linking all this recent organized crime activity to Hassaikai, maybe you're just seeing what you want to see. I'm still not convinced. I'm still not convinced. Seems like you want Hassaikai to be the root of all evil, so you're painting just the right picture. I'm going to need something more concrete to go on. Their young leader is Chisaki, and his quirk is Overhaul, the ability to both dismantle and restore. Dismantle, a quirk that can destroy and then heal. Then we have bullets that destroy quirks. And it comes to the realization of both Mirio and Midoriya that seeing the bandages on Eri's arm brings the thought that, well, let's read on. Chisaki has a daughter, one with no birth record, so the exact details are unclear. And when these two encountered her, she was covered in an excessive number of bandages. No, it's too repulsive to imagine. That's superpowered society for you. Anything you can imagine, there's someone out there who can make it happen. What? What are we imagining? Told you we didn't need kids here. Just use your head. You're saying he's turning his own daughter's body into those bullets and selling them on the black market? It's uncertain whether or not he's selling just yet, given that the drug's current effects are somewhat underwhelming, but if we imagine that it's simply in the testing phase, if he's simply distributing samples in order to attract followers, we're still lacking proof, but he's bringing in people from across the country and amassing funds. What if the final version of these bullets is capable of destroying a person's quirk permanently? One could execute any number of fiendish plans with such a thing. Makes my stomach turn just to imagine it. Let's go bust down their doors. So if your kids had just rescued the girl, our problems would have been solved. I take full responsibility. So please don't blame them. They didn't know the extent of the circumstances, but these two actually did take measures to save her. Midoriya accepted the risk and attempted to take her away right then and there, while Mirio thought ahead to raise the odds of saving her at a later point. Some greatest hero ever I would make. Save a million. Couldn't even save one. I'm sure that the ones hurting most out of all of us are these two. The next time for sure, we'll save her! That is indeed our goal. Chapter 136, Close at Hand. Wow, it's getting dark. I need light. Hold one! Alright, let's get this right. Sorry about that, folks. Had to do it right. Now we got more light. Chapter 136, Close at Hand. The next time for sure, we'll save her. If she's even still alive. If all your guesses are correct, this leader of theirs probably sees the girl as the core of his plan and someone worth hiding. But there must have been some sort of trouble, because she got out. Not to mention our junior heroes here got a glimpse of her. If you were him, would you just bring her back to the main hideout? I know I wouldn't. We can charge in, guns blazing, but it's all for nothing if she ain't there. Any way to be sure where he's keeping her? He raises some good questions, Night-Eye. Indeed, that is the issue at hand. Beyond the unclear nature and scope of their plan, should we fail to end this decisively in one strike, they won't give us another chance. Which brings us to the organizations Hassaikai has contacted, as well as Hasaikai's verified properties. Through our investigation, we've compiled an extensive list. I'll be asking each of you to check out certain groups and locations on your own. We need to narrow the list down. Gotcha, so that's why us minor heroes are here too. Take a look. There's a connection between each hero's home territory and the list of locations. We were chosen because of our familiarity with the neighborhoods. You're mighty cautious for a former sidekick of All Might, doing things all roundabout like this. While we're twiddling our thumbs, little Eri's probably out there crying somewhere. We can't do things the way All Might would. We must rely on analysis and precaution to raise our odds of saving her as much as possible. It's no good getting worked up. If we go big and mess this up, they'll get away. It'll only stoke their fires even higher. Just like how Stain's arrest was actually good PR for the League of Villains. Distributing quirk-killing bullets to small-time street punks might even be for that reason. Y'all are overthinking this. All talk and no action leaves us dead in the water. And as they're arguing back and forth with one another, Aizawa says, can I say something? I'm not exactly sure how your ability works, Sir Night-Eye, but why not use your foresight to see what sort of fate awaits us? Going forward without that knowledge seems irrational. I can't do that. My ability has limitations. Once activated, it has a 24-hour cooldown period. In other words, I can only view 1 hour of a single person's life each day. The images appear in my mind panel by panel, like a flashback. After using it, it's like I can watch recorded footage of that person's entire life. Think of it that way. But the entirety of the film plays out from a perspective close to the person in question. What I end up seeing is his or her actions and faint glimpses of the surrounding environment. That sounds more like more than enough. We could still learn plenty. So why can't you do it? Well, for one thing, what if in the near future what awaited the person was death? A cruel and merciless death even. A cruel and merciless death even. What then? Night-Eye, he's talking about All Might. I've trained my quirk to maximize the success rate of every action I take. I use it to all but ensure victory in battle. It's not meant to recklessly view situations with so many uncertainties. Seeing if we're gonna die sounds pretty darn useful. Then we could come up with a plan to stay alive. I'm not a fortune teller. There's no guarantee that the fate I see can be avoided. I don't get it, Night Eye. Come on, why don't you take a look at me? I'll avoid whatever life got in store for me. I can't. And everyone just shuts up. Why don't we get started, says Ryukyu. There's a child in need out there. That's what matters most. Confirm the girl's location and take measures to save her. Once we're as sure as we can be, let's bring this matter to a swift resolution. I thank you all for your help. Right, I'll be passing out these detailed case files to each of you, and it cuts down to the lower lobby. This chair is comfortable. It's so easy to slouch in this. It's a very nice chair. I got my own gaming chair. It's comfortable with adjustable seats and everything. It's nice. So that's how it is. You must be hurting, man. Deku. It's my first time seeing Muriel down in the dumps like this. Muriel's not smiling at all. And the elevator comes down, holding an all-night vigil, are we? Sensei! You can call me Eraserhead outside of school. Anyway, I was planning to talk with you all about ending your work studies today. What? Now, of all times? You heard about how the League of Villains might be involved in this. This makes this a whole different ballgame. But Midoriya, you still haven't earned my trust back since that fight. From this point on, if you follow procedures and behave properly, you might be able to regain your trust. And we're looking at flashbacks of what he said. The next time for sure, we'll save her! But unfortunately, if I were to cut you off now, it's all but guaranteed that you would leap into action anyway. So I'll watch over you. Let's try to do things right this time, Midoriya. Understand, you little troublemaker? Mirio, keep your head up, man. Hey, I understand, Togata, you got regrets, so you're feeling low. But that's how it is sometimes, got it? Yeah. If it makes you feel better, when you reached out with those hands to help Eri, even though you failed, I bet you gave her some hope. So pick yourself up. Yes, sir! I'll follow you to the ends of the earth, Sir Racerhead. No need to go that far. Sorry. Pipe down, Kirishima. I see, so you steered Midoriya my way to try to repair the relationship between me and All Might. Nah, I just thought of it as a good opportunity. I find myself butting in where I shouldn't in my old age, so did it work? I think there are a lot alike. That part of him I could never understand. That mad zeal that lurks deep within All Might. The boy has that. And we cut to an underground room, in a room full of toys, with what appears to be Eri resting in bed. Hey, Eri. It's okay, relax, just making sure you're still here. You haven't touched these toys yet? After we went to the trouble of buying them for you, why not let yourself have some fun for once? 'Cause if you don't, I'll be the next one they're mopping off the walls, you brat. You can be her caretaker now. Don't let her even think about running. Don't be scared. Give her something nice like candy. Become someone Eri feels she can trust. What's that mean? I don't know what make kids think. I don't know what makes kids tick. Maybe she's into that pretty whatchamacallit thing.
So different. He was so different. No one has ever reached out to me. His hand felt so kind.
Oh, Eri, she's so sweet. Chapter 137, Restraint. Until our coalition could ascertain Eri's location, we were on standby. The work-study group is moving really well. You're hiding some secret you learned out there! Better spill the beans! But telling anyone else about our big mission was forbidden. Sorry, no can do. It wasn't just me. Everyone that was there, Kirishima, Uraraka, and Asui joined the operation too. With that said, we cut back to Aizawa. The big three are on par with the pros. maybe even better. However, you four will have much more reduced roles. Asui, Uraraka, Kirishima, you three aren't exactly here because you volunteered. What do you think?
Eraserhead. After hearing a story like that, there's no way I'm backing out now. If you're giving us permission, Eraser, I'd like to contribute however I can. No one should hurt the little girl and get away with it.
Just looking at the first years in this meeting, I think it's clear that the pro heroes must respect them, especially compared to me. They show a ton of promise.
You never miss a chance to take a shot at yourself, huh, Majiki?
If there's anything at all we could do to help that girl, we'll do it, Eraserhead. I just needed to make sure you're all good. It's fine as long as you understand this. The goal of this operation is to rescue Eri. We can't make it any more than that. The looming threat of the League of Villains is our biggest concern. According to the police and Night Eye, they're not active partners in all this, which means there's a low chance of running into them when we start investigating. But on the off chance we're wrong about that, and the mission suddenly involves fighting them as well, that's where your role ends.
Got it!
Everyone was pumped about rescuing Eri, but at the same time, the whole thing was really weighing down on me. It didn't seem like the time to ask Night Eye about All Might. And since this work study stuff was confidential, I couldn't even talk to All Might. Even Kirishima and the rest were off limits. The business with Eri, the All Might situation, both were heavy burdens to bear. At the time, I had to focus all my energy on saving Eri. My spirit felt ready to break at any moment. Not eating? I was just about to. Is everything okay? You've been looking a little depressed ever since your work study started.
Really? Have I?
If it ever gets to be too much and you need to talk, just say something. I'm your friend. That's what you told me back when I was acting like a fool. Before our internships. Hey! Sorry, I'm fine. It's nothing. I can't tell you about this, but all the same, thank you, Ida. Heroes don't cry. Regrets, sorrow, a little bit of that pressure building up inside of me flowed out. Nah, even heroes cry when they have to, I think. You want half of my noodles? You can have my beef stew too, thanks. Want scallions with that? Sure, thanks. Wasabi? Okay. And then we cut to one of the heroes that was at the meeting. Oh, in the vicinity of Hassaikai facilities, seems like a good place for a home base. We have Gran Torino, Amajiki, Eraser, Night Eye, Ryukyu, and Fat Gum, all convening in one place. Night, 2 days later. People are all walking around. Got the message? Yup. The date's been set. Mirio.
Let's give this our all.
She's at their HQ? So this whole stinking investigation was for nothing? No, we gained plenty of new intel as a result. So how'd you figure it out? A Hassaikai member was at a nearby department store the other day. He was purchasing this toy for young girls. Huh? What the heck's that? Maybe the guy's got just a few weird hobbies. Takes all kinds to make a world, Night Eye. Why'd you go and buy it, too? Box Gung Ho, Pretty Yuri 10. No. If the man had any personal interest in the product, he wouldn't have been speaking the way he was. Do you mean Pretty Yuri? Yeah, that's the one. I remember now. Squad Action Pretty Yuri. You got those toys? That spin-off series is from several years back. Now it's Gung Ho Pretty Yuri 10. So dumb. Whatever. Where is it? Over there. What do you want? As Night Eye grabs onto him, and he appears to use his quirk to look at him. I am also a fan. And he looks into his future. You used your foresight? As I explained the other day, I'll use it once I'm positive about something, just to be doubly sure. So this means we're finally ready to take the fight to them. We'll stake out the place so we can be sure the jerk's at home. Sounds just needs to get the warrants, right? Let's do this, Midoriya! You ready? And he's just pumping himself up. Power! I'm sorry. Togata, you're back to your old self. Crazy moves there.
Mirio, if you hadn't shown such restraint, we might have been able to track this with all your cards on the table. Failure and regret are just parts of life. What matters is how you respond. I can't say whether or not the future can be changed, but we can change the past. How we view the past and interpret it, that much is possible. Mirio, shine on. You're capable of such. This time for sure. As they all suit up. Everyone suits up. Mirio, Uraraka, Nijire, Kirishima, Asui, Suyu, Fat Gum, Aizawa, Midoriya. They're here, says Chisaki. Says Overhaul. Volume 15, Fighting Fate. End. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long time coming, but I want to say thank you all for enduring these hour-long read-through of these 15 volumes of My Hero Academia. It has been a great honor to do all these readings. Now I can go to singular chapters and make it easier for myself on Mondays, because reading all these chapters out in one go with nothing to drink, it leaves one quite parched. But, ladies and gentlemen, this means that I can start reading the rest of My Hero Academia and finally work on catching up. It has been an honor once again to read these to you, and I can't wait as I start to upload the chapters that come after this volume. So hope you all enjoyed. I cannot wait to see you all in the next video. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always,